What would you do if your world came crashing down literally? In Castaway, we follow Chuck Noland, a FedEx executive stranded on a deserted island, as he fights to survive and find his way back to life. Chuck Noland is a FedEx systems analyst who lives by the clock but always rushing between meetings and solving logistics challenges. His life is a race against time. Focused on precision and efficiency, Chuck values every second, until an unexpected twist forces him to rethink everything. On what seemed like an ordinary flight across the Pacific, disaster struck unexpectedly. The FedEx cargo plane, carrying Chuck and the crew, encountered a violent storm. Engines failed, alarms blared, and panic set in among the crew in a matter of minutes. The plane plummeted from the sky into the vast, unforgiving ocean below. Chuck barely managed to grab hold of an inflatable raft, clinging to it for dear life as the wreckage sank into the cold depths. Alone and adrift, he found himself at the mercy of the relentless waves, setting the stage for an extraordinary tale of survival. Chuck wakes up on the shore, his body aching and his clothes torn from the crash. He quickly changes into whatever he can salvage, bracing himself for the unknown. With no sign of rescue in sight, he has no choice but to venture into the island. Desperation drives him as he searches for food, water, and shelter. Each step into the dense wilderness reveals the harshness of his new reality, a place where survival will test his strength, resilience, and ingenuity like never before. As days pass, Chuck begins to adapt to his new reality. Survival becomes his sole focus, but with no tools or supplies. He crafts makeshift fishing gear from vines and sharp stones, learning to catch fish from the shallow waters. Using driftwood and large leaves, he builds a tent to protect himself from the sun and the elements. Fire becomes his lifeline. After countless failed attempts, he finally creates a spark, providing warmth, light, and a way to cook his food. Each small success fuels his determination to keep going, even in the face of overwhelming loneliness. As time drags on, the isolation begins to take a toll on Chuck's mind. That endless days alone, with no human contact, leave him battling overwhelming loneliness and despair. One restless night, while walking aimlessly along the beach, he stumbles upon a volleyball washed up on the shore. In his desperation for companionship, he paints a face on it using his own blood and names it Wilson. After 4 long years of isolation on the island, Chuck finally gathers the courage to leave. Using every ounce of his hard-earned survival skills, he builds a sturdy raft from logs, vines, and scraps of material washed ashore. With limited supplies and an uncertain future, he ventures into the vast, unforgiving ocean, risking everything for a slim chance at rescue. Each wave and storm tests his determination, but Chuck knows this journey is his only hope of returning to the life he once knew. As Chuck sails through the endless expanse of ocean, battling waves and the scorching sun, his body grows weaker, but his spirit refuses to give in. Days stretch into nights, and his hope flickers like the distant stars. Then one fateful day, as he drifts aimlessly, a shadow appears on the horizon, a ship. Chuck's heart races as he waves frantically, using every bit of his strength to signal for help. The ship draws closer, its crew spotting the lone figure on the makeshift raft. After years of isolation and struggle, Chuck is finally rescued, his nightmare at sea coming to an end. After years of isolation, Chuck finally returns to civilization, overwhelmed with gratitude for the second chance at life. The struggles on the island have forever changed him, teaching him resilience, patience, and most importantly, the value of time. Every moment now feels precious, a gift he will never take for granted again. Despite the emotional scars and the pain of losing the life he once knew, Chuck embraces the present. He reconnects with old friends, sharing laughter and stories over dinner, cherishing the warmth of companionship he once feared he'd never experience again. As Chuck reflects on his journey, He realizes that survival wasn't just about enduring hardships, but about rediscovering what truly matters: love, friendship, and timed up with a heart full of gratitude. He looks ahead, ready to make every second count.